up to 2024 May, I was only focusing on paying off the EMI. Such was the financial miscalculation on our part that I took loan in 2010 and which was supposed to be paid off in 2017. I was paying till 2024. When I joined Doctorpreneur Academy, I was still.
Hello friends, welcome once again to another episode of Hall of Fame interviews. Today we have with us Dr. Suneet. He is a general laparoscopy surgeon. He has a very good practice in Nagpur. He is running his own setup. And welcome Dr. Suneet. Thank you for sparing time. Congratulations for the HF.
Thank you, sir.
Tell me about your journey, sir. शुरुआत से बताइए और कैसे आप कॉलेज में आए. How did you decide that you will become a surgeon? क्योंकि सर्जन जो बनता है मुझे लगता है पहले से थोड़ा उनका माइंडसेट अलग होता है.
Yes, sir. Actually, my father is an orthopedic surgeon. He
Okay.
was working in Central Railways. He had a job in Central Railways. So we originally belong to Himachal Pradesh,
Okay.
but now we are settled in Nagpur in Maharashtra. So my father was posted in Delhi, Safdarjung Hospital, then in Baitul, and then in Nagpur. So
Right.
that is how we came from Himachal Pradesh to Nagpur. And after some time, he resigned his job and set up his private practice. So my entire studies from KG to PG has been in Nagpur only. I was a good student throughout my academic career. And answer that, how did I get to become a surgeon? So the story goes back to first MBBS. I was taken to the operation theater along with the batch. So I saw surgical resident draping a patient with fresh green crisp surgical towels.
Yeah.
So that image was captured in my mind. And
Right.
since my father is an orthopedic surgeon and I sometimes assisted him in surgery, so somehow I clicked that this is the branch for me.
Right.
And that was the day I became surgeon. Means that was the only day, and I didn't tell anybody that I want to become a surgeon. So that was after my second MBBS exams. So it was written laparoscopic surgeon. So that was the day I became a laparoscopic surgeon. I had not seen laparoscopy. I should become a surgeon thought that came to me in first MBBS. And after I finished my second MBBS exams, when I had gone to my aunt's place, I saw on a electric pole on a bus stand in Hoshiarpur, a small town in Punjab. And that day, in my mind, I became a laparoscopy surgeon, although it manifested after 12 years. So when I went to Hinduja Hospital in Bombay and I tutored myself under Dr. Tamton Udwadia, who was the pioneer laparoscopic surgeon in India and who was the first surgeon in India to do laparoscopic cholecystectomy. So surgery is in my blood. My father is a surgeon, my mother is a gynecologist, my sister is a gynecologist, my brother-in-law is a pediatric surgeon. So all of us belong to
Okay.
surgical fields.
Once you finished your residency in surgery, then you directly plunged into private practice or you did some
Yes,
job somewhere?
sir. Once I finished my surgery, I went to Mumbai to sharpen my skills. And at that time, laparoscopy was just coming, and there was no laparoscope in government hospitals in Nagpur. So I joined Hinduja Hospital in Mumbai. I worked there for 1.5 years, out of which 1 year I worked under Dr. Tamton Udwadia, and all basic laparoscopic surgical skills I have acquired by directly assisting him. And he was a big shot. And when I joined him, I did not know who he was. Only after a few days of joining, I realized that I am assistant to one of the best surgeons and one of the best laparoscopic surgeons in India. And I'm very fortunate and proud to be his student.
तो इंसिडेंस बताइए सर ओटी का कुछ आपको याद हो तो.
सर ऐसा था कि डॉक्टर उदवाड़िया से सब लोग बहुत डरते थे. अगर कोई
अच्छा.
गलती करता था ना, तो वो आर्टरी फोर्सेप्स वो स्टूडेंट के नकल पे मारते थे. सर आर्टरी फोर्सेप्स लोहे का इंस्ट्रूमेंट होता है.
हाँ.
तो अगर जैसे आप असिस्ट करते करते कुछ गड़बड़ कर दो, क्योंकि हम लोग सब क्वालिफाइड सर्जन थे. वी हैड फिनिश्ड MS. ऑल दोज हु आर असिस्टिंग हिम वर नॉट नर्सेज और अनक्वालिफाइड. तो अगर हमसे कोई मिस्टेक हो गई तो वो बहुत जोर से आर्टरी फोर्सेस लेके हमारे नकल पे मारते थे. तो वो, लेकिन वो मार से ही हम बने, आज हम बने ना, वॉट एवर वी आर टुडे, वो अगर मार नहीं खाई होती ना तो हम बनते भी नहीं. बहुत सिंपल है
Right.
सर। इन ओटी डुए सर्जन से जब कोई सिखा रहा है तो वी हैव टू ट्रीट हिम एज गॉड, चाहे हमको मारे पीटे गाली दे, कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं। सीख तो रहे हैं ना सर।
So after that, 1.5 year of rigorous second residency, super specialty.
Yeah, it was a
Mm.
second residency. Then from there, I went to Fortis Hospital in Mohali. I worked there for 1 year, and after that, I came back to Nagpur. I worked in different hospitals. So at least 5 years, I have sharpened my skills after passing MS, and
Oh.
after that only I started my own private practice.
Started with the parents had a setup, or you made a setup on your own.
They had a setup, but that setup was in a fixed structure. There was no scope of building another floor or adding to it. So I had to set up my practice somewhere else, and I was fortunate that my father had the vision. So he had bought a 2,400 square feet place in a building where the floors above me and floors below me were occupied by doctors. So
Okay.
I was fortunate that I was getting patients from them, and and there was an ICU down below. There was a medical oncologist above. So I used to get a lot of patients for lymph node biopsies, modified radical mastectomies, and all critical patients after surgery I used to keep in the ICU. So I was very lucky in that my father had a vision for his son and keep my feet on, which I used as a stepping stone to success in my surgical career. I was also lucky in the sense not have to market myself because my parents, both parents are doctors and they were practicing since 1972. So when I started my practice in 2006, so that 24 years of patient base, I had my incubation or gestation period was very less as compared to a doctor who is the first person in his family to become a doctor and then starts his practice. So in that sense, I did not sit idle. I always had some work. My mother's patients, my mother's a gynecologist, so umbilical hernias, appendicitis, or breast lumps. So I used to get a lot of patients, and my father is an orthopedic surgeon. So his patients were acute cholecystitis and all surgical diseases because I put my board also beside the board after I came back to Nagpur. I mean, a good head-on experience starting practice. I had to struggle. The important thing was for me to give quality service. So
Mm.
timely service, quality surgery, good results. That was upon me. But to go out and seek or solicit patients, I did not have much to do, that much of thing to do. And to that, I have a totally 100% word of mouth practice.
कभी कभी क्या होता है कि there is a legacy which comes up as a burden. So what happens is people expect a lot of you because आप किसके बेटे हो, किसकी बेटी, वो आपने फेस किया था क्या कभी?
I have faced in the initial period, I used to sit in the same chamber as my father. 50% of patients would reject me because they
Hmm.
were used to seeing my father and being treated by them. In the initial phases of starting my practice, sometimes when the patients came and saw that I was sitting in his chair, so either they did not show me or after after showing to me, they would come again the next door to show my father. This was part of the game. Nothing I could do can be done about it. But I realized that our field is that regardless of my parentage, I have to build my own base in order to sustain myself. So that was the early realization that I had got.
Tell me about family, your family and your contribution to your career.
Younger sister, so she is a very strong support to me. We are only two, brother and sister. She's a gynecologist practicing in Amravati. And throughout my life, even now, even the minor problems or all crucial decisions, all critical decisions, I take with her consultation only. All major important decisions, I take with her consultation. One very big support. The other very big support, financial support, was my father, who never said no when I asked him money for buying equipment for laparoscopy. Initially, when I came, I had only a job. So I was hardly earning 18,000 rupees at that time. That was in 2004.
Hmm.
So that was not enough to buy a place or to buy equipment. But since my father had already bought land, so that problem was solved. But equipment, I had to ask him to give me money. And believe me, I had to buy all basic anesthesia machine, operation theater equipment. Even at that time, large amount of his money I spent to buy thing. But my father never said no to giving me money, and I have proved my worth. In that sense, I am also very satisfied, and he's also very happy person. And of course, emotional support by my mother. who was always looked after my, she was an emotional support to me. But financial support, I had full support of my father.
What was the challenge that you had कि जब आपने नया हॉस्पिटल खोला and you established it? Tell me about that part if you are remembering any initial starting challenges.
When I used to go out to meet people, the thing was at that time also super specialty had started to creep in.
Yeah.
And since I was only a general surgeon and the only super specialty I had was laparoscopy. And by the time I reached Nagpur, three, four more laparoscopic surgeons had come and already set themselves, established themselves. So that was a little bit challenge. Way practice is now. Means the, I don't want to mention, but the unethical things. So I never, so initially, sometimes I had few days or 4 or 5 days at a stretch sometimes where not a single surgery was performed. And as a surgeon, sir, you also must realize that how difficult it is for a surgeon to go on days at a stretch without doing a single surgical procedure when OPD consultation is so meager that it cannot sustain the hospital. So initial phases, the first 2 years of my practice was sustained by patients being sent to me from my parents and very few direct patients because I did not know, did not have an identity and I did not know many people, but my class fellows who are with me in my undergraduation and who belong to Nagpur city, they also used to send me patients. So that was one challenge. Plus, when I used to go outside, unless they had proof that my surgical skills were good, they were reluctant to send. So that was the only two challenges I faced. Matlab, we had to have a good track record for the person in front to be sending patients to you.
So in your long practice, you are now about how many years of practice, sir?
It is 20 years now, sir.
20 years now.
Yeah.
What is the important lessons that you learned?
The most important lesson I say, sir, being true to yourself.
Right.
Means if you feel that this is the correct thing to do for yourself and for the patient. Even today, sir, I have sometimes patients coming to me कि sir हमारा operation कर दो. I am a colorectal surgeon also. I have a fellowship of Association of Colorectal Surgeons of India, and I am also a national faculty of Colorectal Surgeons of India. Sometimes patients come to me to get a piles operation done. So I tell them कि अभी आपको जरूरत नहीं है. With diet control and some medication, you may be okay. 90% times it turns out to be correct. And the good thing is that they send me more patients because I have gained the trust rather than giving in to the temptation of doing a surgery and earning money immediately. So the important lesson is be true to yourself, be true to your conscience. Patients may say whatever they want to say because they are not doctors and sometimes they have Google things and they come to you. So we have to resist that external pressure of giving in to the patient and his expectations also. Be true to yourself.
What do you do other than when you're operating?
I am a very avid reader of self-help books and I attend many self-development programs. So now gaining interest in finance. The thing was when I started my hospital, my father had bought the land and he had also given me money for to buy the equipment. So at that time, I did not realize anything about financial pinch. But
Right.
when I expanded, and that was a 10-bedded hospital. So eventually, my practice outgrew that hospital, and I had to shift to a greater premises for which we took loan. And there came a situation in my life that to pay off the loan, I had to borrow money from doctors who were coming to my hospital, like anesthetists or urologists or plastic surgeons. So I was paying the bank EMI by taking another loan. So paying loan by taking another loan. At that period, I realized that there is something which I do not know, but which should I have known. And that triggered my interest into the study of finance. I am also a member of some telegram groups of doctors, which was started by a radiologist in Mumbai. So I also gain knowledge from that. And now I invest myself and I have the finance mastery blueprint by Mr. Masharwani of Ahmedabad since 2000 late 23. I directly became a diamond member, sir.
How has been your diamond journey till now?
It has been excellent. Up to 2024 May, I was only focusing on paying off the EMI. Such was the financial miscalculation on our part that I took loan in 2010, and which was supposed to be paid off in 2017. I was paying till 2024. When I joined Doctorpreneur Academy, I was still some May 24 onwards. I am attending through your self, Amit sir. I have now joined the Xly app. I am learning new things. I'm still not active in social media because I do not get too much of time. But I've hired a boy who is looking after my social media marketing. And one other thing is I am deeply interested in teaching. I am a visiting lecturer in a homeopathic medical college in Nagpur, which I teach as a hobby because I get only 2,000 rupees for a lecture, which is for a surgeon with 20 years experience is a very meager
Hmm.
amount. But I don't teach there for money. I teach for teaching the students, and I also train my staff. So teaching, reading, and finance. Uh, and reading is not, I do not read fiction books, sir. I read only non-fiction, self-help, self-growth books. So these are the three of my main part-time hobbies.
You can utilize your actually software for making a course for your employee also.
Yeah, I'm using Excel software regularly. I
Hmm.
get emails from them. I see the number of views. And last week only, I had a interview with their executive, and then he Tanmay, and then he told me to how to use the Excel software. So I am learning and teaching. I learn, teach my staff, and then I move ahead. Again, I learn, teach my staff, move one step ahead. So that is how we are progressing.
What are your future plans, sir?
My future plan is to attract international patients. As of now, my patient base is from Maharashtra, Chhattisgarh, Madhya Pradesh, and sometimes patients from the border areas of Maharashtra and Telangana, and a few patients of Odisha. So, using the online consultation facility, using the Xly app, my ultimate dream is to attract international patients, although Nagpur is nowhere in the international map. There are few hospitals in Nagpur which attract international patients because they are big, huge chains. And I am also attached in one of as a visiting consultant in one of those hospitals. So that is my one future plan. The other thing is I want to a part of global surgery. There are many surgical initiatives where surgeons are required to provide the skills and services in remote areas where there are meager facilities. So
Hmm.
I want to be a part of that initiative. There is an organization called as Doctors Without Borders. So I just know the name of the organization, but I do not know how to get into it or how I can contribute there. So I want to be a part of teaching, training their staff into basic surgical skills like dressing or like giving a stitch or maybe removing a lipoma or a sebaceous cyst, because even these simple facilities are sometimes missing in those areas. So these are the to global surgery. I also want to become donor, like which is called as corporate social responsibility. So people who are rather children between 5 to 10 years who are economically disadvantaged but are academically sharp. I want to sponsor the study. Last year, I've sponsored the study of a student who was a student of my cousin sister who is a teacher. We paid about 4,000 rupees per month for his tuition fees for throughout the 1 year, and he has cleared IIT JEE mains examination in 2025. So I
Great.
want to finance education of
Very good thoughts.
students. Thank you, sir.
For a budding surgeon, what is your message?
For a budding surgeon, sir, the only message is patience. There is no other way to develop a surgical practice. And the second is don't bother about the competition. Competition was there, is there, will be there throughout and wherever you go. But if you are true to yourself, if you are true to your branch, if you are conscientious, always you will win. The keyword is patience.
Great. Thank you, sir, for that sharing of time and giving your valuable time to us. And it is for the
Thank you, sir.
larger audience which will be benefited from
Thank you,
it.
sir. Thank you very much.
And if you want to contact Dr. Suneet Sood, sir, his credentials and his website link will be put down below this video, and then you can have a chat with him. He'll be more than happy to help you. And if you want to understand how
Absolutely.
Doctorpreneur Academy has helped, then you can click to the link for the webinar here. You can attend the Sunday webinar and join us. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.